Hey, welcome back to Divinely Uninspired. This is episode 8. I'm Rusty. Good to have you with us. Also with us is Jeremy, as always. Jeremy, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I've been better. We got some bad news about our mortgage for this new house, but
Oh, no.
it's all right. It will work out. And I'm going to sweet talk my person and see if I can convince them to give me a better rate. And also with us again from last episode is Spencer Connor. Welcome back, Spencer.
What's up, everybody?
Glad to have you. Doing okay?
I'm doing all right, man.
Very good. Your Braves doing okay?
They are doing so okay, and I'm loving it.
Good. He's not. Or you're not really a sports guy, though, right?
Not really, but whenever we end up in situations like this, man, I usually pay pretty close attention.
Very good.
So,
and then we are super excited to have with us a very special guest today, Penny Durham. Penny, how are you?
Hey, I'm not really sure how special I am. I'm just here to replace April today. So,
well, I mean,
you're very special.
And let's talk about that for a second. So apparently there is now a Team April versus Team Rusty and Jeremy, so the best way to just eliminate that is just to eliminate April. So
that's what we
eliminated her.
She's fired.
No, she's gone.
Yeah, she doesn't even know this.
April, I love you.
She'll be back next time. Yep.
Yeah. So where is her shirt? Where are we at with that?
Oh, it's in. It's just I got to pick the week to make sure that I do it. So it'll be happening soon.
I still have no clue what's on this shirt.
Nobody does.
It's only Jeremy.
I'm so
And
excited.
Jesus.
I actually have two options. So I bought a shirt that I really like, and then I also made a shirt. And so I haven't decided which one I'm gonna have.
You made one?
Yeah, I had it made.
Oh,
He didn't like do a cricket cutter and then
No, I
iron
didn't.
it on.
I did not
but
personally.
you
make
designed it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
There wasn't much design to this one.
yeah, that's cool.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, several weeks ago, we played a game, Would April Buy This? And I'm actually sad to say that that's our least listened to episode.
What?
And so if you haven't gone back and listened to that, go find it. I can't remember. I think it's episode 5. And we played this game. It was so much fun. And April lost. So she had to wear a t-shirt that Jeremy picked out, and she will wear that on a Sunday on stage to do announcements. We got a lot to talk about today. We are really excited. We got some fun stories. We got some weird stories, and it's still spooky season. Spencer, there's your word.
Spooky.
Very good. All right, here's the theme song. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're listening to Divinely Uninspired, podcast by Journey Church Shepherdsville, hosted by Jeremy Willis and me, Rusty Wilson. You can find us online at journeyshepherdsville.com. For questions or comments, email podcast@journeyshepherdsville.com. Maybe we'll feature your question or comment on a future episode. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. So we're going to jump right into it today, and I'm going to ask a very pointed question that I want everybody to be honest about. Would you accept a pig kidney in replacement of your own kidney? Like if you can't find a good donor, would you accept a pig kidney? Spencer?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I'd do it. I feel all right. I told Jill this a little while ago. I feel like if there was a doctor much smarter than me who was like proven in their medical field, and they said, Spencer, you need a kidney replacement. We have this pig kidney. It'll work. I'd be like, okay, cool. Let's do it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Penny, what about you? Would you accept a pig kidney?
So, I don't really know. I mean, the kidney, we put things in, doctors and surgeons put other things in people's bodies
All
that
the
are
time.
artificial, right?
Yeah.
So why not a pig kidney?
Why not something organic?
I mean,
Right.
so let me question you on that, Spencer.
Okay.
So there was a famous doctor that apparently was really, really smart. His name was Dr. Frankenstein. I don't know if you know about him with spooky season coming up, but he was a lot smarter than everybody else, and he created a monster.
That was the first use of a pig kidney in history.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
So what do you think about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I'm with Spencer on this.
Well, first of all, you do know that's fiction, right?
Yes, I know that.
All
I know
right.
that's
Just
fiction.
making sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. There's all sorts of advancements happening in the medical field.
That's so much. The I feel is such a Gen Zer thing. I feel.
I absolutely would do it, but I don't want to
Thank
be
you.
the first. I want to be like number 50. like, and just let's give it some time and see how it goes. But if it's working, like Spencer said, I mean, these doctors and surgeons are smarter than us. They're figuring things out. I mean, you do there's all this information about like how our DNA is not that much different than other animals and all that stuff. So sure. Yeah. If the doctor tells me to do it, if I have failing kidneys, I've seen people go through dialysis and that does not look fun. So, I mean, if I have to have a pig kidney, so what?
Well, what about you, Rusty?
So I'm Jewish, so no, I would not, because it's not kosher. My wife likes to say that so my wife is, she has a type, and so she married me, and I'm rather, I look rather Jewish. And every time she sees an actor or a famous person on TV that she's attracted to, she'll be like, "Oh, he's so handsome." It's like, Jew. He's a Jew. It's who he is.
Yeah.
So so no, I would not accept a pig kidney. I would cut one of the kidneys out of my children and take theirs.
That's why you had kids.
You can live with one kidney though, right? I mean,
I'm sure. You can't live quite the life you would like with one kidney, but So anyway, the reason we're talking about this is for the first time, U.S. surgeons has successfully used a pig kidney to transplant into a human patient.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's already been tested. There's science behind it.
Well, hold your horses. For the first time, a pig kidney has been transplanted into a human without triggering immediate rejection by the recipient's immune system, a potentially major advance that could eventually help alleviate a dire shortage of human organs for transplant. So I know we already use pig stuff in us all the time, like your heart valves are, a lot of times those are replaced with pig heart valves. But I don't know. I'm just not thrilled with this idea of having pig organs.
There's a lot of difference between a heart valve, which I'm assuming is small, and an entire organ in your body.
Like kidney's pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
that's why they call them kidney beans. They're the same size.
Everybody should know that I'm looking at his computer right now and he's getting this information from Yahoo News.
Hey, Yahoo News is a reliable source.
I don't know if Yahoo News is reliable.
It's actually, yes, Yahoo collated it and aggregated it. It's actually from Reuters.
Did you get that through your Hotmail account?
Yes, I did. I sure did. They send out the daily yodel. If you haven't subscribed to that.
Did you ask Jeeves? Remember Ask Jeeves?
No, Jeeves retired.
That should be something we ask Spencer later about that.
I know about Ask Jeeves.
Okay.
I was going to make the comment that it popped up on his MySpace account probably.
Oh, we'll get there.
So where would you draw the line? Like what organ from what animal would you not accept?
What organ from what animal?
Like Spencer, would you accept a fish spleen?
I don't know anything about the spleen, so I don't know if I can make an informed decision, but
okay.
I don't know.
What do you feel? Do you feel like you would accept a fish?
I'm going to say I don't know if I would take anything from a fish.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Penny, what about you? Do you have any limits?
I would say that I would have to stay within like the primates, right? Like, don't want to like take a horse's heart and like give it to you. I mean, that's impossible. So I don't know. I'd have my limits, but we do this all the time. Don't they like take rats and like the skin of a mouse or a rat? Don't they create like an ear or a body part and for transplant? Don't they do stuff like that?
Yes, and they are getting risque with
they do a lot of crazy stuff.
What body parts they're growing on mice these days. So there was an interesting article that I'm not going to link.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Let's build an audience before we shut everybody down.
I like shutting them down from the get-go and seeing who sticks with it with us.
Well, our next topic may shut a lot of people down. So
it's true. It's true. So we're going to move right along. So Lizzo recently, the artist Lizzo, recently gave a TED Talk where in this TED Talk, she claims twerking is sacred. And what her argument is, and it's we're going to link this in the show notes. It's from religionnews.com. She claims that twerking is actually something that originated in African spiritual practice, and that it had to do with the opening of the hips to fertility gods and goddesses, and that we should not look down upon twerking as a dance move in 21st century Western civilization because it's a sacred act. So, is twerking sacred? Jeremy?
I mean, first of all, I can't believe we're talking about this.
I agree.
Second of all,
do we want to just move on?
No, it's not that. So I think what happens is we are really good at taking things and I mean, for this example, just overly sexualizing everything. And obviously some people were, first of all, I don't know if everybody knows who Lizzo is. Second of all, not everybody's going to admit they know what a twerking is. Although, let's just be honest, most people probably do at this point. But
do you want to demonstrate?
No, I don't think I could, even if I wanted to.
I can. That's my stupid human trait.
Here's what I'll say about it. I think we have to be careful in a couple ways. I think that we can over-sexualize a lot of things. But we also have to be careful not to downplay other people's cultures and beliefs and things. I'm not sure. I read the article. I'm not sure the connections she's making are the connections that I would make with a lot of that.
Sure.
But I do think it's important that we realize we don't hold the market on truth and cultures and what we can learn from cultures and history of cultures. And, and there's a lot of stuff even in Christianity that we've just taken from other faith systems and other religious systems and other cultures, and we've made them our own. And so we have to understand that history behind it. This one seems to be stretching it, if I'm honest, a little bit. But who am I to say?
Yeah. All right, so, Penny, what are your thoughts?
So I just want to say that I like Lizzo as an artist. Like I enjoy some of her music. Like I think it's okay to say that, but I also I'm agreeing with Jeremy on this. We over sexualize everything when it comes to things, and for her to say that is a cultural reference just seems almost a validation for why she's doing it. Mm-hmm. And we all know that it's not why she's doing it. So
yeah, I like Lizzo too. I think she's a very talented individual. I love that song, Truth Hurts. And maybe Truth Hurts, Lizzo. Maybe twerking isn't so sacred. I don't know. Spencer, what do you think? You're the young one amongst us.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of twerking, When it came out, I wasn't a big fan. Not a big fan. I don't know.
When it came out?
Yeah, like when it went viral. I mean, I'm reading here that what was it? Entered the mainstream consciousness thanks to Miley Cyrus' performance to the 2013 VMAs. So I remember that, and I don't know. It was weird then. I feel like it's weird now, but I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Jeremy. Who am I to say that it's not? It doesn't come from something that was at one time sacred, but I don't know. Nowadays, what I think the majority of people nowadays associate it with, I would not call that association sacred.
So you're drawing the line between modern interpretation of an act versus...
And let me say this. I would say that if it's true that it comes from these African roots for fertility and stuff like that, I think one thing too with it is a lot of these things are meant to be private. And I would go ahead and argue most people that are twerking are not doing it for privacy reasons or for religious reasons. They're doing it for attention. And I think that becomes, even in Christianity, the danger of if we're doing things just for attention, then that becomes the problem.
It loses its sacredness at that point.
I mean, I think it kind of loses its sacredness when you're doing it to draw a crowd or attention versus you're doing it as an experience to connect you to God or earth or nature or whatever you believe in. So.
Yeah. So is... Well, this is an interesting way to look at it. Is the act, whatever it is, we're moving on from Lizzo. Is it the act of doing something sacred, or is it the intent behind it, which is sacred? I think it would always be the intent. I mean, you got to think even I think about in Catholicism, a lot of the stuff that they do, from a Protestant perspective, I look at it and I go, okay, that just seems silly that they're doing that. But if they have that belief that connects them to God or connects them to their faith, who am I to judge them for going through that? But if you're just going through the kind of the pomp and circumstance of it, then I think it kind of becomes different. But I think it's the intent behind some of those things that is what connects us to spirit and all that stuff. So
I'm kind of a bit intrigued now. I want to know if this is cultural related and the intent is different. What exactly does that look like? And I mean, is it a ritual they do with the people in their village, or what?
But I think we get too dangerous is, was it the Mayans? I mean, they sacrificed children. So we can't sign off on everything. Oh, it's culturally religious or culturally acceptable. It was also very dangerous, and I'm not trying to make the connection between twerking and child sacrifice, but I do think
you're making a connection.
I do think that's an important question to ask is it one of those things where, yes, there are things even in Christianity, that are dangerous. I mean, if taken to its literal extent,
snake handling.
Yeah. I mean, so
Have you ever been to a snake handling church?
I have. Yes.
Have you really?
Yeah, I really have.
Did you handle?
No,
Okay.
I have not. I did not. And when I went, let me say that they weren't snake handling when I was there. It was when we did a mission project in Eastern Kentucky, but it was definitely a snake handling church. Like the boxes were up there, they keep the snakes in and all that stuff.
Do y'all remember an article coming out a couple of years back where a pastor got killed at a snake handling church?
That happens every few years.
Well, there was one I distinctly remember in my mind, and the church that happened at was actually in the town that I went to college.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college?
Clear Creek Baptist Bible College. Shout out.
Where is that?
In Pineville, Kentucky.
Oh my.
Pineville, Kentucky. I thought you were in North Carolina.
I moved to North Carolina after I went to college for my first internship.
Oh, I see. So you did college in Kentucky and then you went, okay.
To North Carolina. Yeah. But yeah, there was a church, I believe it was in Middlesboro, Kentucky, which was like 15 minutes away from us. And a pastor got bit during a service and died.
Yeah. That's it. Penny, you ever handled any snakes?
No. Hard
She probably
pass.
never will. She's like me. I never will
Hard
either.
pass on the snakes. No, thank you.
Nope.
You can leave them exactly where they are.
Or, light them on fire. I mean, you can do that too.
Yeah, I'm with Spencer on that.
Though, a snake handling church it's spooky, Spencer.
No, that's not spooky. It's just wrong.
Well, it says it in the Bible though.
We can have all sorts of conversations about Mark chapter 16 and all that.
I mean, you would think though, in the middle of nowhere, that one person would have something to help with the venom of a snake.
You would think.
You suck it out.
I know. They just like let him die.
But I mean, in snake handling churches, you're supposed to have enough faith to where if a snake bites you, nothing happens.
Well, you know the real trick though. Have you ever seen the show Justified? You've seen it. Most of the snake handling churches, they can actually remove the glands that produce the poison. So most of the snakes they're handling, it would bite you and probably hurt, but there actually isn't poison in most of them.
I'm actually watching that show right now.
It's an amazing show.
Amazing show.
It only gets better with age.
It does.
It holds up. If you haven't seen it, it's Justified. You can watch it on FX on Hulu or just any FX provider, I guess. I don't know what they call it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're moving right along. So Jeremy, why do you hate owls?
Oh, I don't at all.
It sure seems like you do.
So what happened is, I actually love birds of prey. And so this is actually for real legit. I was very upset about this. So, in fact, I wrote an email to the state fair this year because the raptor rehabilitation wasn't there. And it's the only reason I go to the state fair. If you don't know what that is, in the very back of the area where they sell everything, they have raptor rehabilitation. So they bring in eagles, golden eagles, owls, all this stuff. And they feed them and are injured animals that have been hit by vehicles or been hurt from hunting accidents and all this stuff. So it's actually my fame. I actually give money to them outside of that. I actually have a t-shirt for raptor rehabilitation. But anyway, long story short, I was driving back from a wedding a couple of weeks ago, late at night, and
How fast?
80 miles an hour. And all of a sudden I see this giant thing swoop down in front of my truck, and it was an owl. And I hit it going 80 miles an hour. And I drove about another mile because I didn't have anywhere to pull over, and it was on the Western Kentucky Parkway, and I got pulled off, and sure enough, I had hit an owl, and it was stuck in the grill of my truck, and it was dead. But
So you didn't take it to raptor rehab.
It was not rehabilitated.
I don't know if I could have rehabilitated it at this point. 80 miles an hour. But the way it hit my truck, it went in like talons first. And so it broke out my grill and all this stuff, but it was stuck in there and I couldn't get it out. And so I had to drive all the way from basically on the Western Kentucky Parkway between Litchfield and E-Town, about where White Mills is, back to my house with this bird stuck in my grill and its wings like flapping and everything. It's dead, but like the wind is catching them.
It's not funny, but it is funny.
Were you did your car go faster?
No, it did. It did not go faster. I did not take off. But no, it was really sad. And it was a beautiful bird.
Oh.
We buried it. I felt like that was the right thing to do.
You buried it in your backyard?
We buried it in the woods. Yeah. Because I figured some animals probably were just going to dig it up, but I wanted to give it the decency of burying it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we buried it, but it was very sad, but it was very surreal. And actually at the auto body shop place, because I had to get it, that bird, this is a true story, cost $3,200 in damage to my truck.
It was going to make sure that if it died, it was going to take some stuff with it.
But they were like, we've never seen a picture of it. So I showed them the picture, and yeah, there's an owl stuck in the grill of my truck.
I really stand by the fact that you should have taxidermied it.
I really, in hindsight, I should have. I should have kept
stuffed it and put it in
You
your
can probably
office.
dig it up. It's probably not
I'm
too.
sure there's some maggots and stuff already gotten into
Well,
it.
they
We live
can-
out in the woods.
They
so-
can probably fix that.
It's
Yeah.
just a weird conversation. Like, do you know how weird that is? Like
Yeah.
the idea that an owl, I've never seen an owl before, like out in the wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like never.
Oh, they're awesome.
They're awesome.
They're a lot bigger than you
Yeah,
think they are
Jeremy
too.
knows it's
Yeah, it's
awesome. It got
big.
stuck in his car.
It's big. I mean, its wingspan when we pulled it out. I mean, I have pictures, but it probably had a 4.5 to 5 foot wingspan. I mean, it was huge.
That's like as much wingspan as I have.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Jeremy, though. I love big birds like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also love Big Bird.
You know who Big Bird is?
I know who Big Bird
Oh,
is.
we'll get
Sesame
into
Street's
that.
still real. It's on HBO now.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
still
awesome.
around.
We'll talk more about what Spencer does and doesn't know here in just a little bit. But before we do, since we're on the topic of hitting animals with vehicles, everybody here hit an animal before? Anybody here not hit an animal
I've never hit an animal.
at all?
No,
Not
never.
even like a squirrel?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've never been driving the car when I've hit an animal. I've been in the car though.
Okay, I guess I should take that back. I have been in the car.
Yeah.
But I think I would be traumatized. Like, I love animals, like, love them. Like, every animal I meet, I think they become my new best friend. Like, I'm Snow White or something. It's
There
ridiculous.
was one time we were driving and it was late at night. I don't know. It was dark out and it was me and my family. We were in a minivan and we were driving down this highway. It was probably 60 miles an hour. And we saw this like white flash go across and then just like we hit it. And I just caught it in the rear view and it was a cat. It was a white cat.
Oh, that's sad.
That is sad.
So 2 stories I have, obviously the owl story, but when I was like 16, first learned how to drive, I drove a little pickup truck, and I was going to McNeely Lake to play Ultimate Frisbee, and I was driving down the road and I ran over a dog.
Oh.
Okay. Now listen, I thought I ran over a dog. The dog apparently had like got down low and I just ran literally over it. Like I didn't kill it. Like, cause it just like got up and just took off. And I was like, but that was the other closest I've been to actually. I've only had that experience and then now this owl. But one time Jamie, my wife, she's very sensitive and, she got up to go to work and she called me when she got to work and she's bawling, crying. Like, I mean, just uncontrollably crying. And I'm like, she can't even get words out. And so I'm like, are you okay? I'm expecting that someone's passed away, that something's happened at school or something. And she finally, after about 3 minutes, she gets out. She goes, I think I hit a duck. And that morning on the way to school, this is true, she had to get somebody to cover her first 3 periods of class because she couldn't get it together because she thinks she hit a duck on the way to school because it was like flying and it hit her windshield. We don't know if the duck died or not. We never found it. We went walking trying to find it, but but she for 3 periods could not control herself and uncontrollably crying, calling me that morning.
So now that I have this information, randomly she is going to start receiving rubber ducks and like
Just
those
sent to her house.
those hunter decoy ducks,
Yeah.
and just randomly, just they're going to show up. Maybe have one delivered to her school.
But she has such a good heart. Like she really does. I mean, she was genuinely upset that she thought she hit a duck.
I would be the same way. Like,
I
I think I would be the same way.
I was scared to tell her about the owl because I thought she would judge me, even though it was not my fault at all.
My mom hit a rabbit on Easter Sunday morning one time,
Oh,
and it
the
was
Easter bunny.
yeah. So she hit it, and she was on her way to work, and it didn't kill it all the way, and so she had to like roll backwards to put it out of its misery.
It's also not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Oh no, it's hysterical. I love telling my children that on Easter morning, because then I tell them, and just like Jesus, the bunny rose from the dead. He didn't, but it makes the story better. And then they're happy and they eat their Cadbury cream eggs, which are the best candies. I don't care what anybody says.
Hey, I actually need to amend my statement. I forgot I did run over a Yorkie in my neighborhood.
A Yorkie?
How can you forget that?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, you
I
ran
think-
over a dog.
I think I blocked it out of my memory because it
Oh.
was such a traumatic
Okay.
Was
day.
this recently?
Yeah, it was like,
Did you find the owners?
yeah, the owner showed up and I offered to pay because the dog wasn't dead yet. And so I offered to pay vet bills or whatever. And she was like, no, it's fine. And
Sounds to me like maybe she wanted that dog to get hit.
she just took the dog and just drove away. And
Are you sure it was her dog?
Yes.
This sounds a little creepy.
No, I'm positive. And what was really creepy is that we got on Facebook that night and the local, I guess, Humane Society posted that they found a dead Yorkie on the side of the road, like up by Coral Ridge up there. And I was like,
so she did like a dead drop.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the same Yorkie or if it was a different Yorkie.
All right, so I got a theory.
The timing was just very weird.
I know some people love Yorkies. I can't stand them. They're too yippy for me. I have a feeling that it was the neighbor who let the Yorkie out, and then you hit the Yorkie, and then the neighbor picked it up and then took it out there and dropped it off.
Could've
because, yeah.
That's so sad.
I
It is
think I
sad.
did not sign up for this kind of conversation.
It was
really
it was horrible. I
morbid.
was like distraught.
All right, well let's all get happier for a minute. 'Cause we're gonna hear from Jeremy some good news, I sure hope, about what happens when animals die. So we've all had pets that we've loved that unfortunately have gone on to the great dog park in the sky, or the
Pet cemetery.
the great kitty castle and down below. So let's ask this question, Jeremy. What happens to animals when we die?
What does Jeremy think?
I mean, most of them we eat, right? Isn't that what happens?
I guess that's true.
To most of them. No. So this is a weird question because it's a popular question. People ask this question all the time. And it is one of the questions that honestly the Bible just doesn't really address. There's this one verse in Ecclesiastes, which is like the most chipper book in the whole Bible. If you've never read it, it's super positive. But Solomon, who's the smartest man that ever lived, said, "For what happens to the children of man and what happens to the beast is the same. As one dies, so the other dies. They all have the same breath, and man has no advantage over the beast. For all is vanity, all go to one place, all from dust, and return to dust. Who knows whether the spirit of man goes upward and the spirit of the beast goes down into the earth?" So according to the smartest man to ever live, we don't really know, but he does kind of hint at, well, he thinks we kind of go to the same place. So that's, good news if you want your animal to be in heaven. In Revelation, there is the part where it says that all creatures from above the earth, on the earth and below the earth are praising God. So there's another little positive maybe nugget that maybe, it could happen. I think the biggest one though is that Paul, Jesus, and John all insist that whenever we have heaven so messed up in the way we think about it, I could do a whole podcast on our wrong views of heaven, but Paul, Jesus, and John all insist that they're creating a new heaven and a new earth, which is a new creation. And so my theory is if it's a new creation, similar to the one of the original creation where everything is the way it's supposed to be, and animals were a part of that new creation, why would they not be a part of this new creation that's happening in the future? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So now all that to say, that's my hope because I love my dogs and obviously I hope I see that owl again and we'll have a good, a good
laugh about it. Hey, Jeremy, remember that time you hit me at 80 miles an hour?
Yeah, we'll have a good laugh about it.
Good times.
And maybe he'll thank me for burying him. I mean, that's the respectful thing to do. No, but the reality is even those things I just told you are not definitive. And there's lots of books and articles and different views. Those are just kind of the ones that I pulled out was that, because I think people want to be optimistic about that. But at the end of the day, we really don't know. And, unfortunately, a lot of these things, what does Jeremy think, comes down to, well, we really don't know, but here's what I kind of think. And so, yeah, I hope that it is true. I hope that we do get to see our loved animals before. And if heaven is supposed to be this place with no sadness and stuff and our animals make us happy, then yeah, sure.
So let me ask you another question that ties into this. So I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. But so a lot of people that don't care if animals are in heaven or not, their whole thing is like, well, animals don't have souls. But I think we misunderstand what a soul is because the Bible uses two different words for soul versus spirit. Yeah. So animals have personalities. I've had one dog that was super sweet and wanted nothing more than to please me. And then I've had other dogs that they hated my guts and couldn't stand me. So they clearly have different personalities. Does that mean that they do have souls?
Yeah, I mean the Bible, when it talks about the soul, when we think of the soul of that, I mean it is different. And it's hard to explain. It's that breath of God that just makes us distinct from all of other creation. That breathing in directly. Everything else is just kind of created, and God literally breathes breath into man, which is kind of where we get the idea of that we're created in His image, soul, and all that stuff. Bible. You'd be surprised how little the Bible actually talks about the soul. I mean, we use that word a lot, soul and spirit, but it doesn't talk about it a lot. But one thing I would say to kind of connect those ideas is, we see that, in fact, in the writings that the angels or these angelic things, which we talked last time, we don't become angels or demons. It's a different realm. they're jealous of us because of like the salvation plan for our spirit and all that stuff. And they're in the afterlife. And so, if they don't have this spirit or soul like we have, but they're part of the afterlife, why wouldn't we think that animals wouldn't be a part of that as well?
That's a good point.
So,
well, even Martin Luther believed that animals went to heaven.
Oh, lots of people. C.S. Lewis, Martin Luther. There was another one I read a quote from today that was a big guy early on. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he, in fact, he has this famous quote, and it may be apocryphal. I don't know for sure, but he had this little beagle that he adored, and it was getting old and it was dying, and he was holding it in his arms. And he said to the beagle, "Be thou comforted, little dog, thou too in resurrection shall have a little golden tail." And when we had to put a dog down back in December, she was really old. And so I remember just that being a comfort to me, like holding her as she's breathing her last breaths, and just having that hope that okay, this isn't goodbye forever. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I really I'm indifferent. Like, I think that things in this world die and they live, and it's a cycle, the circle of life, right? Like, you become part of the earth again, and then it's recycled into something new. And it'd be really nice to think that if we had a pet that we love so much that we would see them again. And I think our Father wants us to be happy. So maybe that does come our way again. But I'll be very honest with you. My dog's the devil. Like, he is seriously.
Well, maybe he'll go to hell.
The worst. I would just hope that eventually he would go down for a nice long sleep.
Yeah.
Long nap.
A dirt nap.
Maybe when the new earth comes, maybe he'll be frolicking in like a field of daisies or something. But it'd be really awesome though if I could just request now, like a chance to see dinosaurs would be really awesome.
Yeah.
So something like that.
And not to get off all of this, but it is an interesting idea when you think about it, because when people think about wanting animals in heaven, they think of dogs and cats, and maybe somebody has a pet lizard or a pet fish or a bird or whatever. Nobody thinks about like snakes and like, dinosaurs is interesting, but
mosquitoes.
Yeah. I would also argue, based on what I found and even the quotes I found and the studies I found, it's a very Western idea.
Sure.
Especially if you've been to third world countries, they treat animals completely different.
Oh, they hate
and think
them.
of them differently. And I think the same is true in South America, and even when you get in Africa and stuff. Not that they don't love some animals, but they view animals very differently than we do. And so it is a very Western, I think, conversation that we have with that animal soul spirit thing for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it's a bit of a luxury item to be able to talk about. Like, when we don't have to worry about where our next meal, for the most part, most of us don't have to even think about what are we going to eat today? And when we do, it's like, well, I get to choose. It's not like this is my only option. When we lived in the Dominican, there were, they had these dogs that they called perro de tanque, which meant trash dog. Like, literally it means a dog that hangs out in trash cans. And they were so abused and treated poorly that if you like bent down like closer to the ground, like just a squat, people would do that and pick up rocks and throw it at them. So most of your street dogs, if they saw you bend down, they would just bolt. Oh. Now, not everybody felt that way. There were a ton of people who loved their pets, but then mostly pets were to serve some sort of purpose. And in that culture specifically, dogs were, they were like friendly alarm systems. And so the way somebody explained it to me down there, they said, well, look over there, there's that picnic table, right? And we've had a lot of good memories at that picnic table, and it served us well, and we appreciate all that it's done for us. But if a branch fell on that picnic table and broke it into a million pieces, we'd say, oh, that's a bummer. We like that picnic table. I guess we'll just get a new picnic table. And that's sort of the mindset that a lot of people operated at, once again, because they're having to focus more on like staying alive just as people. They're not as worried about taking care of their pets. So I don't know. I love my dogs. We even have birds. I like birds.
I have an indifferent relationship.
I'm just not going to let Jeremy near them.
To my dog.
You have an indifferent relationship?
Yeah. Sometimes I really love them, and then there's other times I really hate them.
Wait till you have kids.
That's what everyone tells me.
Yeah, unconditional hatred. All right, very good. Well, we are going to anyway. That's what Jeremy thought. Thank you, Jeremy. We appreciate your thoughts. If you disagree with him, you should let him know by sending a duck to his house, made out to Jamie. and just with a hate note of why you're wrong.
Terrible.
Yeah. So we're gonna play our game today, and it's not like a full-fledged game. It's just we're gonna have a little fun with Spencer because Spencer is younger than us. Spencer, what year were you born?
1994.
94.
Greatest year of all time.
So you just turned 27.
27. What, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. And so there's all kinds of things that Spencer doesn't know about, and that we're always very shocked that like you haven't heard of this. Like for example, just a little while ago, we were talking about mice being beat up, and I said something about, oh, it's like Little Bunny Foo-Foo, and Spencer said, "Who's Little Bunny Foo-Foo?"
Yep.
And so we are just going to have some fun with you, Spencer.
All right.
Finding out what you know and what you don't know. We're calling this the Spencer speculations.
Okay.
Because we're going to ask you, have you heard of this? And then what do you think that is?
Okay.
So, Jeremy, why don't you go first?
Who is Winnie Cooper?
Oh my gosh. Winnie Cooper, that sounds like a singer.
Oh.
No, that's it. Well, it's not.
All right, let's give him another one.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me.
No, if you don't know who Winnie Cooper is, who is Topanga?
Topanga is the girlfriend from Boy Meets World.
All right,
I know
there you
that.
go.
Come
All
on.
right.
Okay.
So Winnie Cooper was my original first crush. She was
Wonder
on the Wonder
Years.
Years.
Oh.
And then it moved on to
Hey,
Topanga.
I did watch a little bit of the Wonder Years.
The new one.
The new one's good. I like the new one.
The original one. My wife loved that show growing up, and I never got around to watching that show. And so she started watching it a couple months ago, and I sat down and watched it with her.
Did you know the guy that's his friend ended up being Marilyn Manson?
No, he's not.
Do you remember that rumor?
I do.
Oh my goodness.
It was Paul, right?
Paul, yeah.
Paul.
Everybody said that he ended up becoming Marilyn Manson.
okay.
And I really wish it was true, but it's not. It's fake news. All right, I got one for you.
All right.
Who plays Indiana Jones?
Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Come on.
All right.
on,
but
give
well,
me-
Give me some.
I know
some
that
hard
one
ones
was
than
kind of
that.
like
Who played his dad?
Oh, that I don't know.
All right. You have no.
Oh, wait. No. That's not right. I just spoke very loud.
That's okay. I'll clean
Sean
it.
Connery played
Very
his
good.
dad.
Okay,
Yes,
very
I remember
good.
that.
Point for Spencer. Points
Hey.
for Spencer.
we just
doing good.
lost him, I guess, this past year. Is it this past year or a couple of years? He's been gone.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yes, absolutely.
That was another one of the losses of 2020.
I know.
Sean Connery. There were a bunch of celebrities
I
that
don't know.
died last
2020
year.
felt like about 10 years long. So
Yeah,
that's
I
true.
don't know how many. It could have been 2019 for all I know. All right, Penny, you got one for him?
Yeah. Do you know what pogs are?
Yes, I do know what pogs are because Rusty gave me a full-on education into what pogs are.
I am sure both Jeremy and Rusty collected some serious pogs.
Yeah,
Like you
I
probably
did.
had like the tube of like the, I don't even know what you did with them. What did you actually do
You
with
played
them?
a game with them.
You
would
stacked them
you
up
would
and then you
stack
took a
'em.
slammer.
Oh,
and
a
you slam
slammer.
it.
The slammers. Yes.
They were like the
okay.
little metal
Mhm.
pieces.
And was it if it turned up face up or turned up face down, then you got to keep those?
Yeah, I think it was face up.
Face up, yeah.
I will say, if pogs were around today, that would be something I would be interested in.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could have a lot of fun with pogs.
You could like collect them now.
Yeah, maybe we should try to do that.
Have you-
office game?
What do you think Tang is?
I know, guys. Come on, I know what Tang is. Tang is the orange drink.
Do you know where it was first used?
I do not know that, but I knew that we always had it in children's church when I was in elementary school. We would have that and animal crackers, and it was delicious.
It was first used in space.
Oh,
Yeah. It was-
wonderful.
yeah. What about?
Do you know what a Tamagotchi is?
You mean a Tamagotchi?
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
I think you just said something that's dirty.
Yes, I had a Tamagotchi when I was like in first grade.
Did
I
you
bet
kill
you
it?
killed it within like 2 days.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody did. They used to have them in Happy Meals. You would get a Tamagotchi in a Happy Meal.
All
But
right.
they were like the fake ones though.
Who sings the song "Sweet Caroline"?
Oh, come on.
Ba, ba,
I know
ba.
the song. I know the song. I can't tell you who sang it.
Neil Diamond,
Neil Diamond. That yeah, okay.
fellow Jew. Appreciate him. Do you know who Emilio Estevez is?
He's a singer, isn't he?
Mm,
No, guitar player.
No.
Dang
it.
Just stop.
All
Just
right.
stop.
No.
You
Sorry.
ever seen the Mighty Ducks?
Yes, a
He's
long
the-
time ago.
yeah, he's the coach.
He's the coach.
What was the Mighty Ducks? What did they do to win the game?
I know they played hockey, but I don't know what they did to play
They
the
had
game
one signature
or to
move.
win the game.
Back to ducks again.
It's the one they tried to do before Jamie hit them with their car.
That's right.
I don't know.
Just guess.
The
They had a move they did at the end.
flying V.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
actually
job.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And then in the second one, they had the knuckle puck,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
which wasn't that Keenan? Isn't that Keenan in that movie?
From like Keenan
And Kel,
from Saturday Night
or-
Live.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
well, yeah.
sure. Yeah, that was him.
That's what I need to do tonight. I need to go watch Mighty Ducks 1 and 2.
All right, I got another movie for you that I
Okay.
want. That's actually it's a number one and its sequel, Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2.
Y'all have told me about Hot Shots before. Doesn't it have Sylvester Stallone in it and it's about arm wrestling?
No, that's
No.
over the top.
That's over the top.
We've told you about over the top twice now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he still can't remember.
I don't think he thinks it's as cool as it is. So Hot Shots.
The only, I have no idea.
What about Encino Man?
Encino Man, isn't that like about a runner?
No.
No?
It's
No.
so good. That's one of my
Dad, no,
favorites.
I want to hear you come up with a plot for Encino Man.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to tell you what it really is.
I don't even know where to start with these things. I mean, I don't know.
Encino is a location.
Okay,
it's
so
in California.
Encino Man is about a man from Encino and something goes wrong in his life and he has to overcome an obstacle.
So do you want to know the real plot?
Yeah, tell me.
A guy decides to dig an in-ground pool by himself, and when he's digging, he finds an ice age man. Okay,
Oh,
and thaws him out.
Okay.
It's Brendan Fraser, if you know who Brendan Fraser is.
yeah, I know who Brendan Fraser is.
And thaws him out, and he's like a caveman, and
Okay.
so he takes him to high school with him, and he becomes like the popular kid. And then and he falls in love with Encino Man falls in love with the girl that he actually likes. And
Oh,
then
cool.
it becomes the whole thing.
Oh.
Doesn't sound nearly as good like when you're giving me the plot, but it was a really good movie back in the
I
day.
can't remember the name of it, but there is a Brendan Fraser movie where he spends like his whole childhood and into his adult
Blast
years.
from the past.
Yeah,
Can you name-
in a bunker.
Can you name one Pauly Shore movie?
I don't know who Pauly Shore is.
Oh, my
no.
This game is over. We're done.
Have you ever seen a Goofy movie?
Yeah,
Okay, so you know the one that's like the Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
Yeah.
That's Pauly Shore.
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
And he had a bunch of they're actually terrible movies now
Yeah,
that I've
oh, yeah.
rewatched most of them.
Biodome.
I
could
love
like,
Biodome.
yeah.
Son-in-law
Yeah, that's another good one.
That one's
In
a
the
good one.
Army now.
in the army now.
Yeah. Anyways, you were going to have so many movies and TV shows.
You just need to
and-
make a list. I need to have like the Captain America list of stuff that you remember like from the, what was it? Winter Soldier. He had like the list of things that he had to.
Oh yeah. Cause he's like, I caught that reference. I know that
'Cause-
reference.
Right.
Wasn't Hot Shots like I remember who was in it, but it was like making fun of like Top Gun and like
Rambo.
Iron Eagle or something. There was like some
Yeah.
Iron Eagle
Gotcha.
movies or Iron.
Yeah. So it's one of like, it's
a parody.
movie,
Okay,
and it's
cool.
very funny. And it was Charlie Sheen before he was Charlie Sheen of today. That
Do you know who Charlie
Yeah.
Sheen is?
I do.
Okay.
I used to watch 2.5 Men.
what kind of blood does he have? Do you know?
He has a very distinct blood in his body.
I don't know.
Tiger blood.
What?
That's what his claim is. He has tiger blood.
So he tastes like strawberry and coconut.
Okay.
Yeah, very
Hey.
good. I like that. Very good. Okay. We have a few things that are coming up that we're going to go ahead and talk about. This episode is really off the rails. Spencer, you got Monster Bash coming up. Tell us a
Yeah.
little more about that. You talked about it a couple weeks ago. Tell us about it today.
Oh, it's just the greatest Halloween party you've ever been to. I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah. We throw a giant Halloween party every year for our students, and somebody always ends up covered in slime. I did the first year, and I had to throw away my jeans that night because they were covered in slime, and there was no saving them.
Well, how do you make the slime?
It is made. You'd have to ask Justy Wingfeld that because she has the recipe like down pat. But I know it has oatmeal and vanilla pudding, food coloring, and some other stuff. Last year it had tomato juice in it, or like tomato sauce in it.
That sounds.
That
See, when I think
sounds
slime,
chunky.
I
It
think
just not so
Nickelodeon.
good.
I think Double Dare. Do you know
Yes.
Double Dare?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
wish we
what
could
I
make
think.
that kind of slime. That slime is awesome.
I'm sure you can Google it.
Did you ever play with Flarp?
Yes,
Ooh, Flarp.
Flarp's
Yeah.
awesome.
Love Flarp.
And Gak. Wasn't there Gak?
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't remember
Gak,
Gak. I remember
Okay.
Flarp though. Yeah,
All right,
but Monster Bash is a lot of fun. Students dress up in their costumes. We have buckets on buckets of candy, and
How many people you have signed up right now? You think?
I think right now we've got about 47 signed up.
Do you have limited spots?
Not necessarily. I think we capped the registration form at like 80.
Oh, okay.
So
Got it.
I don't know if we'll get 80, but
Do you
that'd
have
be awesome.
do you have a VIP package?
What would you put in the VIP package?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
We could possibly do that. Yeah.
They get to stay upstairs and sleep overnight, and
They get an upstairs tour of the building
in the dark.
In the dark.
with a ghost story.
They
Gotta do
get
that.
a bag
Yeah,
full
no.
of full-size candy bars.
Oh, that
And-
means you live in the rich neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay.
But yeah, Monster Bash is coming up October 30th. And if you are in middle or high school, don't know if you'd be listening to this podcast right now, but maybe your parents are. So parents, tell your middle schooler and your high schooler about Monster Bash. They should come.
I have a feeling our target audience is probably like 12 years old.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, some of our humor is 12 years old. So.
Very much.
Penny, your daughter's been to Monster Bash, right?
She loves it. She talks about it for 12 months straight. Like it's ridiculous. I think it's because like there's no rules.
Yeah.
It's just chaotic and fun.
We have students that I only see once a year, and it's because they come to Monster Bash.
But that's good though, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
better than no time.
Community building. That's great.
No time.
Right.
What is your daughter going as this year?
So we're dressing up as the Addams Family. So she's going to go as Wednesday.
She's going to be Wednesday. I do know who Wednesday is. And not because I watched the animated, but because I watched the
originals. You have to watch the originals. They've been around a long, long time.
Yes, they have. They're redoing I was always a Munsters fan over the Addams Family personally. And Rob Zombie is remaking the Munsters. So that should be interesting.
I know what the Munsters are. I've never watched the Munsters.
It's a great show.
That's really, really super old. I'm talking like,
it's
like 60s?
60s, yeah,
at least.
Cool. All right, and then the next big thing that we have coming up here is Grinchmas. We're not going to talk too much about that because we haven't even hit Halloween yet, but we do have the dates for that. Those are December 9th, 10th, and 11th. More information will be coming out about that soon. We're super excited. We didn't get to have it last year, but we are going to unroll Whoville into Shepherdsville.
We turned this whole building into Whoville, and it's fun.
And we have somebody that's like fully dressed up as the Grinch, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Blue, who goes to church here.
You're not supposed to say who it is.
No, it's not Blue.
Takes away the magic.
It's the Grinch. It's the Grinch.
He's pretty amazing too.
He visits us all the way from Whoville, and it's a great time.
Cool. Also, what we've got going on right now, if you've been on campus, you've seen these shoe boxes that are brightly colored. That is for Operation Christmas Child. That is an outreach event where it's not really an event, but it's an opportunity for you to love on some other people this holiday season, this Christmas season, by filling a shoebox full of some needs and wants for kids. And you can pick one of those boxes up, or 2 of those boxes, or 10 of those boxes up when you're here in person. And if you don't have time to shop, you can send money in. I believe it's like $9. It's not much, and they will fill the box for you. And then the last thing, you're going to hear more about this next week at church. This Thanksgiving, we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to, as a church, supply about 60 Thanksgiving meals to families here in the community. So here on campus, there will be some bags with some instructions attached to them of items needed to be purchased, brought back, and with a $20 bill to pay for the turkey or the ham for that family. So it's a great opportunity to feed a family in need. We actually, we're hitting several of our schools locally here who have people that will benefit directly from this. So this isn't something that we're sending off far away where it's not impacting your community. This is right here in Shepherdsville, in Bullitt County, and we want to do everything we can to love on our community. All right, so we are going to go ahead and wrap it up today. We've talked for over almost 50 minutes at this point in time, and we were going to talk about suffering, but I think we've all suffered enough today
with Jeremy's story.
Yeah, so
whole story.
Yeah, I'm
traumatized.
We all need to go hug Jeremy because he loves them. So we love you. We will see you next time. Anybody have any parting shots that they'd like to get out there? No, Spencer.
We're good.
You need to educate yourself on things from the early 90s and 80s.
I need to do that, and parents need to sign their kids up for Monster Bash.
Tell you what, that's the deal. If for every child that signs up for Monster Bash, you will watch another 80s movie. I will watch
a 80s or 90s movie. Yep.
I like it. All right. Thanks. We'll see you next time. And Penny, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was a lot of fun.
How was the experience? Was it what you expected?
I will say I think you guys are kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like your conversations are really funny.
Thank you.
You should hear what we talk about when we're not on the podcast.
I will say this: I'm much different from April. Like I'm not into like Hallmark movies or anything like that. So it's been real.
You're like into John Wick and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I like that type of stuff. I'm not like, I don't know. Some Hallmark makes me extremely uncomfortable. Like, I don't understand.
We should have an episode where it's all female, except for you, where I'm not even on it, where you have a female and we do it April versus Penny.
Does it have to be combat?
No,
I know,
I'm
it just sort of sounds like it.
No,
It's the pog throwdown. We're going to throw out some pogs.
Like their movie choices, like, you know, like.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. And I'll put on a lady voice for the whole podcast so that I fit in well. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. See you later.